I believe American families, yours and mine, do not fall short compared to other families around the world. We as parents strive to provide a stable, nurturing, value based home for our kids. We do our best to lead by example, model work ethics and responsibility, and highlight values like compassion, grace, and kindness. And I also believe that our public education in the US can be better for sure, but in terms of academic readiness, they too do not fall short compared to other educational systems around the world. We have amazing, skillful, and passionate teachers that equip our young generations with knowledge and proficiencies to the best of their ability. So here's the question: how come US teenagers are falling behind their peers across the world, almost in every indicator? But even without comparing, our state of teenagers in the US is discouraging and in descent. According to the Alliance of Excellent Education, 1 out of 4 US teenagers will not graduate high school. Only a third of our population will hold a 4-year college degree. This third who graduate from college will then earn 75% more than their high school graduate friends. On average, 35% of US students use an illicit drug in their lifetime, double than their European peers. 1 out of 6 US youth aged 6 to 17 experience a mental health disorder each year. And these are numbers that were collected 3 to 6 years ago. Can you imagine what the numbers look like now, during and post-COVID? And here's another number I want you to remember. Only 7% of our teenagers are engaged in an occasional volunteer activity. Remember this number. We'll come back to it, 7%. But enough with numbers. Clearly, something is wrong. Something is missing from this recipe. Why do our teenagers lack crucial emotional, mental, and social resiliency and the necessary skills to overcome challenges and adversities? And why are they ill prepared, not to just survive the real world, but rather to excel in the real world, as they should? Why do our teenagers lack the passion and the ability to pursue and pave a better future for themselves? And why are the key adult figures, like me, like you, parents and teachers, are not enough to inspire our teenagers to explore and develop their unique talents? My name is Ariel Lissman. I live in Eugene, Oregon, but I grew up in Israel, where I led municipal teen and young adult department. This department provided countless and diverse opportunities for thousands of teenagers every week to explore, practice, develop, and master their soft skills and talents and build their mental, emotional, and social resiliency. After moving here to this great country, living among amazing people, it is painfully obvious to me that our teenagers' developmental journey is missing this crucial part: an extracurricular infrastructure that is designed to cultivate skills, passion, resiliency, and talent, or in short, spirit. The lack of this component in their day-to-day lives, consistently for 5 to 6 years, is our glass ceiling. It's what holding our future generations from achieving greatness and living healthy and productive lives. The question you're asking now is, aren't you putting too much on some afternoon activity? Why do you draw a direct line between healthy and prosperous life and after-school community service and extracurricular activities? Well, let me explain why. If it's not a worthiness issue or lack of founded values, which is not, then it's only a question of allocating time and space for practicing, sharpening, mastering soft skills and aligning them with personal passion and talent. If we, the parents and teachers, are in many ways their coaches, and they're about to play with the big dogs on Saturday, isn't it obvious that as coaches, we need to allow them enough practice time before the big game? Aren't we preparing them for failure by not providing the resources to excel? What we're failing to provide is the time and place for them to practice. If they'll have the opportunity to explore and experience, build on and master their skills, passion, resiliency, and talent, we'll see a whole different type of young adults with different set of beliefs sense of evidence-based worthiness, fully developed soft skills, and higher clarity of what is available for them in this world. Instead of settling for an average future, which is not more than a cloned one of their family's past circumstances. What it means for us, we have the responsibility to build an infrastructure designed with the intention to stimulate their passion and talents and provide opportunities to pursue them. Allocated time and space need to be consciously created to create this safe haven. The safe haven that will help our young generation write a new story for themselves, for our communities. But before we move on, I want to explain you something. This is not a pitch for a super great teens program. There are wonderful programs and services for teenagers across the country. Some of them for advanced teenagers, and most of them are directed at mitigating social, academic, and economic disparities. These are great solutions for specific at-risk groups, and they're working, and they should continue and thrive. Today, we're talking about America's new silver bullet, a revolution in how we think, prioritize, allocate, and design our cities to serve all the teenagers community in the country. It's about how we support the entire teens population and springboard them to fulfill their true potential. And after 20 years of working in leading municipal departments for teen and young adults in Israel, I want to tell you what allocating time and space, building a safe haven for all teenagers should look like. It starts with cementing a much needed bond between our local government and our school districts, a bond that symbolizes the shared faith and commitment of the two most significant governing bodies in our lives. The schools will make community service a requirement for every teenager from the 8th to the 12th grade, 60 hours every year. In response, your local government will operate programs and facilitate and coordinate opportunities for our teenagers to fulfill the school's requirement. The 8th and the 9th graders will spend their time exploring and tasting different types of community needs and work on projects and events with a designated adult mentor. In these 2 years, they'll have the opportunity to practice teamwork, critical thinking, communication style, leadership roles, and learn about themselves and their community. The 10th and 11th graders will work in teams and individually across the community in and on any project they'll choose. They'll have the opportunity to take their skills to a higher level, plan, execute, and impact their community in unbelievable ways. By the time they reach the 12th grade, they will take on leadership roles in the system itself and also have the opportunity to pursue internships in the public and the private sectors as part of their career exploration journey. As a youth development director in a city with 12,000 teenagers, I've operated and supervised tens and hundreds of small groups operating from community centers, YMCAs, youth centers, while simultaneously coordinated the placement and thrive of thousands more in a community-based organizations like the city, the police department, paramedics, the firefighters, clinics, hospitals, animal shelters, nonprofits, art, sports, and recreation programs, and many more. It takes a village to raise our kids. We have a village. Let's raise our kids for success.